So, dzień dobry. I'm very happy to talk today in this familiar round about my work in Vienna. My name is Petra Jens. I'm the walking officer, and I was asked to tell you what we are doing here. So 11 years ago, the city of Vienna decided to invest in active mobility, in cycling, and also in walking and accessibility, not only by building great infrastructure, but also by marketing, by communication. And therefore, we created the Vienna Walking brand, as you can see it here. You can see it on your seats on our walking map. It's one of our products. We shared the knowledge about where you can walk easily through the city of Vienna, where are shortcuts through private properties, where are public toilets, where are nice parks, and interesting shopping streets. So since 11 years, we run this brand. We have a platform, online platform, Vienna Walking, Wien zu Fuß in German. Here you can find a calendar with walking events through the city. We also make some proposals where you can stroll around the city if you have some leisure times and you want to stroll around. We also give information about the change in infrastructure. What happens in the city? Which streets are transformed with more trees and wider pavements, benches, and so on. So during the first years, we measured our impact. We measured the image of walking towards the citizens, and we could prove that there is an impact in walking communication. In 2013, when I started, about 60% of the Viennese people said, yes, walking is something that we should do in the city. I like walking. I think it's important as a everyday means of transport. And in 2017, we nearly raised this number to nearly 90%. So also in the in the mobility share, there is some change. For many, many years, walking was up to 26 or 28%. And during the pandemic, we reached nearly 40% of walking. Now there's a higher level than before the pandemic, more than 30%. And you can also see that at the same time, cycling was also growing. Unfortunately, as you can see here, the share of car driving stayed the same. So our goal is to reduce the share of car driving from 26 to 20%. And here is one example how we communicate cycling and walking together. Here you can see a very important project of a main cycling connection from the south to the city center. Don't be confused, the north is here. This map is, north is not up, north is here. So here is the south, here's the city center. And we try to improve this connection for cyclists, but in the same time, we try to improve the shape of the street also for pedestrians. And here on above, you see the Argentinierstraße. It's a street between the central railway station and an important place in Vienna. It's slightly downhill, and here you see how it looks now, and here you see how it will look in a few weeks. At the beginning of December, we will open this new built street in a big ceremony. It is an important cycling project, but at in the same time, it's also a big improvement in the quality of walking, as you can see here, with cobblestones, with more trees, and with benches. So we try to create synergies towards active mobility. So, the most important goal during the last 11 years I am Walking Commissioner was to establish a federal fund for walking. Walking is a topic of municipalities. They have to finance it, and usually they don't have the money to create great infrastructure for it. So for the first time, since 2021, we have a federal fund for walking that municipalities can apply for. They can apply for this fund if they have a strategy for walking, a so-called master plan for walking. So in Vienna, we do have 23 districts, and now 17 of these 23 districts do have a master plan for walking. They made a strategy for the walking network. Now they are able to apply for the federal fund. They are able to combine this fund with a fund from cities levels. And now there is enough money to really change something on the streets. And as you can see here, this is not the main shopping street, but the smallest shopping street in the city center. It's green, it's an encounter zone, and you can see that people do enjoy it. So here's the development of this fund, of this federal fund. Last year, there were 67 million euro in this fund for all Austria. Here you can see one example of such a master plan of walking. It's the 8th district. It's the smallest district in Vienna. And here is the vision for the main walking network that should be improved over the next years. And here is one example what could be realized with this fund. It's a place in front of a school. Before it was a parking place, and now it's a free space for the students, for the children, for the neighborhood. Yes, that's the development in Vienna. So the investment of the city was more than 70 million euro this year, and 50% are funded by this federal fund. So you can have an impression about what's going on with this fund. So walking is fine in the city center, where the city is dense, where all the destinations are close by, but it is also important to promote walking in the suburban areas. We have huge suburban areas in the north of Vienna. We called it Lido, the left side of the Danube River. The Viennese people say it's Trans-Danubia, but it's not that nice, and we tried to figure out to establish a more positive name for this huge area of Vienna. So we tried to find out where do people want. We used phone data, we used requests, infrastructural data, and all these data were combined to a master plan of walking. And one of the main proposed measure in this master plan of walking is a big bridge connecting two parts of this district, and this bridge will be realized in 2 years for cyclists and also for pedestrians. So let me tell you some words about electric vehicles, because it fits to this conference, and it's a topic that affects pedestrians in the city. Two examples. First example, shared e-scooters. It was a scandal through the city. The first scooter companies, sharing scooter companies, led to chaotic situations on our pavements. Especially blind people faced problems with these vehicles laying around on the pavements. So during 2 years, we tried to make some rules. We tried to organize this sharing concept because the city of Vienna welcomes e-scooters. It welcomes e-scooters as a new means of transport to have more diversity in the mobility mix. But there must be some rules so that everybody feels fine in the city. Here on the right side, you can see our dashboard. Meanwhile, we have we had 4 companies with strict rules, and meanwhile, it's reduced to 2 companies in the city. We organized parking slots, and the problem could be fixed over 2 years. Before all these measures, we had 6,000 fees for delicts of wrong parked electric scooters, and now it's reduced. In this summer, it's heavily reduced. So it had some impact. The second topic, second example, big electric bikes on bike lanes. It's a problem also for pedestrians. Half of our bike lanes are mixed with pedestrians. So also here we try to make some rules and to distinguish between a bicycle and an electric vehicle according to weight. Because motorbike has about 46 or 50 kilos. It's not allowed to use the cycling lane. An electric motor car with 70 kilos is allowed to use a biking lane. And we said that it makes no sense. We need new rules for it. And the proposal of the city is to bring light electric vehicles to the cycling lane and heavy electric vehicles to the car lane. That's the proposal of the city of Vienna, and there are some negotiations with the Ministry of Transport. Thank you very much. If you have some questions, dziękuję.